For more than 100 million Americans, it's become the go-to social media app.
TikTok has become one of the most popular social media platforms in recent years, providing a platform for people to showcase their talent and creativity. Many users have become influencers and amassed huge followings, but the pressure to maintain their popularity and monetize their influence has resulted in some turning to harmful behavior. Influencers are often driven by the desire for more likes, followers, and sponsorships, but in the process, they may compromise their values and morals. They may engage in actions that are damaging to themselves and society, such as promoting unhealthy habits, spreading misinformation, and participating in cyberbullying. The constant pressure to keep up with the demands of their followers and the algorithm has resulted in many influencers losing touch with reality and suffering from mental and emotional health issues, such as anxiety, depression, and burnout. It is important to recognize that the quest for fame and fortune on TikTok should not come at the cost of one's soul and mind.
Hello.
Who are you?
I'm here to help you. I can make you rich and famous.
Really?
You just have to do one thing. Get naked in front of everybody and worship me.
Does that really work?
Of course it works. I will make you extremely wealthy. In exchange, I need your soul. I mean friendship. Do we have a deal?
Deal.
The content on TikTok is vulgar, empty, and dehumanizing, and it serves as a negative influence on society. TikTok can be a dangerous addiction that can consume your time and prevent you from reaching your full potential. Every moment we spend mindlessly scrolling through TikTok is a moment that we can never get back, and we may eventually regret the time we wasted. Time is a finite resource that we can never get back, and the rapid pace of life means that it can slip away from us before we even realize it. And those who understand its worth are more likely to achieve success. Successful individuals prioritize their time by investing in activities that bring value to their lives, such as reading, working, and minimizing distractions. They have dedicated countless hours to their pursuits, often working behind the scenes. Have you ever taken the time to reflect on whether your actions are aligned with high-value, income-generating activities, or are you making a meaningful contribution towards solving significant problems? However, instead of pursuing remarkable and meaningful endeavors, there you are spending countless of hours scrolling TikTok, allowing distractions to cause problems, reducing your self-esteem, increasing your risk of depression and anxiety. This video is specifically directed towards individuals struggling with TikTok addiction, while there may be numerous other resources addressing the detrimental effects of the platform. As you keep watching, you will come to fully grasp the profound and destructive impact TikTok can have on your life. The app has been specifically designed to be addictive, gradually taking away the most valuable resource we have, our attention. While it may start as just a quick 2 minutes of entertainment, before you know it, hours have passed by and you're still scrolling through videos. Despite only being around for 2 years, TikTok has already attracted a large user base, with the average user spending 5 times more time on the app than the average YouTube user. This is especially impressive considering that YouTube has been around for over a decade and has 2 billion users, while TikTok has been growing at an exponential rate. Turning users into bots and zombies, its algorithm is highly sophisticated, tailoring content to individual preferences. While users can post videos, animate photos, go live, and watch others' posts, the app's real danger lies in its ability to be addictive to those who simply scroll through multiple posts without actively posting. This leads users spending countless of hours on TikTok without even realizing they are addicted.
TikTok, it's interesting because it is a scroll, but they've actually done something new, I want to say, in some ways. And they have the vertical scroll, which is what you have on Facebook. For example, you're scrolling up on the news feed. But what this does is if you stop on the video and you like that video, it'll restart that video. So in a sense, you've got a horizontal scroll going on pleasurable content, and you also have a vertical scroll going, both. So it'll just auto load, and you'll be in this pleasurable dopamine state, carried away. It's almost hypnotic, You'll keep watching and watching. And then if you want to scroll up, there you go on the traditional scroll again to the next.
There is a topic of recent discussion due to the addictive nature of social media platforms and the impact they have on our mental health. And it is a dopamine detox, which refers to the phenomenon of reducing or quitting the use of addictive apps, like TikTok, in order to decrease dopamine spikes in the brain and reduce feelings of withdrawal. In other words, dopamine is a chemical in the brain that is associated with motivation and pleasure. It is not the enjoyment of an activity that releases dopamine, but rather the anticipation of that activity. For example, when you know you're going to eat junk food, your brain releases dopamine, not at the time that you're eating it. The same is true for TikTok. The endless scrolling and search for the next interesting video releases dopamine in the brain, leading to addictive behavior. And this addictiveness happened to prominent vision doctor and TikTok star Dr. Brian Botcher Wouchler recounts the negative impact TikTok had on his life. He describes how the platform consumed him, leading to a rift in his family relationship and requiring a formal intervention. He writes that the constant drive for more followers became an addiction, fueled by the dopamine hit from the platform. Wouchler's entry into the TikTok world started innocently. His twin daughters encouraged him to join the platform after the pandemic forced his clinic to close. His desire to be seen as a cool dad motivated him to start using the platform. Wouchler created a TikTok account and approached the platform with mathematical precision. He determined the optimal ratio for likes, views, and shares, and eventually created a follower efficiency ratio to measure the number of followers each video would bring in. This consumed 2 to 3 hours of his day as he created videos, went live, answered questions, and responded to comments, neglecting his family in the process. As he said, "My experience as an influencer highlights the potential dangers of the addictive and damaging effects of social media fame. Even though my kids were growing frustrated with my excessive focus on TikTok and neglecting them, I had more pressing concerns." Wouchler's family eventually staged an intervention, but he initially disregarded it until he hit his deadline in his video views and was no longer getting the same dopamine hits. TikTok denies the allegations made by Wouchler and is actively working with US government entities to address national security concerns. As you see, in reality, TikTok doesn't care about you. According to BBC News, a number of students decided to uninstall TikTok during exams, as they had developed a dependency and were spending excessive time on the widely used social video platform. One student girl from Cardiff University deleted TikTok after recognizing her excessive use of the app was impacting her ability to study and prepare for exams. Its algorithm is feeding a toxic and damaging ideology for Generation Z. Additionally, TikTok has negative effects not only on mental health, but also on the neurological well-being of its users. The attention span of individuals, particularly those in Generation Z, has significantly decreased, with some reports indicating it has dropped to the level of a goldfish. This is a new phenomenon and is causing concern among experts. TikTok operates by conditioning the mind to seek instant gratification and creates an addiction to this form of pleasure. This is achieved through social engineering tactics, one of which is called intermittent reinforcement. As a result, individuals who frequently use TikTok may struggle to concentrate on other forms of media that lack immediate stimulation. Such as movies from the 1980s to 1990s, the concept of intermittent reinforcement can be easily observed in casinos where slot machines are designed to not pay out all the time, or pay out different amounts to keep the excitement and thrill of gambling alive. Similarly, on TikTok, videos are crafted to grab a user's attention instantly, to keep them engaged throughout the entire video. This is because humans have a natural inclination to repeat a behavior when the timing of reward is unpredictable, and the reward itself is perceived to be earned through effort. The joy of a hard-won reward is relished more than a reward that is easily obtained. TikTok's speed-based nature makes videos that fail to instantly grab the user's interest are swiftly passed over. Nevertheless, after repeated exposure to unsatisfying content, a user will eventually stumble upon that rare, captivating video that gives them the dopamine hit they've been searching for. Its addiction fuels disregard for the app's privacy policy, which openly collects vast amounts of user data, including metadata, GPS location, and contacts from Facebook and Instagram phone. This poses a serious threat to our personal information and online privacy.
More teenagers are on TikTok now than use Facebook. It counts millions and millions and millions of Americans as users. But it is owned by a Chinese company that includes Chinese Communist Party members in leadership. And it is required under Chinese law to share user data with Beijing. And TikTok has admitted that it has sent user data to China. To put it bluntly, this is a major security risk for the American people.
Moreover, the app has been caught monitoring what users were typing, even when they were typing on other apps, which raises serious concerns about the security and ethical implications of using TikTok. In 2021, TikTok changed its policy to allow the collection of biometric identifiers and information from its users, and with that, TikTok collects biometric data, including your face, to analyze and distinguish various personality and demographic traits. This information is collected every time you create a video or use a filter. All the data collected by TikTok, including biometric information, is required by law to be provided to the Chinese government. This is why TikTok collects a higher amount of user information compared to other social networks. Currently, more teenagers use TikTok than Facebook. Well, you might be asking, is TikTok associated with the Chinese government? Well, answer is yes. It's part of a larger Chinese government effort to expand extraterritorial control over digital platforms. To understand all of that, let's get back to when it started. TikTok's origin story is different from the typical entrepreneurial startup. It started as 3 separate apps. With Musical.ly launching in China in 2014, Musical.ly allowed users to create 15 seconds to 1 minute long videos, usually featuring music, simple editing, and dance moves. Despite its reputation as a silly selfie app for teens, the content created on Musical.ly was mostly wholesome and enjoyable. However, the app had a far-reaching impact beyond this perception. In 2016, Chinese tech giant ByteDance launched Douyin, attracting 100 million users in just 1 year. Recognizing the potential, ByteDance acquired Musical.ly and rebranded as TikTok in 2018. TikTok has undergone multiple name changes and is still a Chinese version that operates separately. So, ByteDance recognized the impact of short-form videos and combined multiple apps to create the ideal algorithm. With user-generated content being easily accessible and scrollable, TikTok became the perfect platform for aspiring creators and influencers to achieve viral fame. The company tested the formula in China, quickly attracting content consumers and creators. Within months, TikTok had taken over the entire country and caught the attention of the Chinese government. ByteDance has a legal obligation to provide user data to the Chinese government as per its partnership agreements. This resulted in the CCP having access to user information, including their preferences and habits. So who really are the CCP? In other words, the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. It has been in power in China since 1949, led by Mao Zedong. Mao saw the importance of cultural control and utilized propaganda techniques, such as promoting socialist heroes, censorship, and state-controlled media to maintain power. The use of propaganda has been crucial to the CCP's success. Despite some shifts towards liberalization, the CCP has constantly used propaganda tactics, including media control and creating role models, to maintain control. In recent years, CCP is one of the most successful political parties in the world. It has more than 96 million members and is currently led by Xi Jinping. Under President Xi Jinping, Chinese government has a totalitarian regime that aims to control every aspect of modern life. The government offers the promise of escaping poverty and hardship through rigorous state exams, but with high fail rates, only few can benefit. In return for this opportunity, citizens must accept the propaganda, follow the status quo, and avoid opposing the ruling party. As I said, the Communist Party of China, CCP, has complete control over media, entertainment, and social media, and enforces strict laws to limit foreign influence and access to the internet. Citizens are assigned a social credit score based on their behavior, incentivized obedience, and helping the government predict dissent. If an individual's score falls below a certain level, they may face restrictions such as travel limitations, being unable to take public transportation, and more. This system is designed to encourage good behavior and promote obedience, and the consequences for low scores can be severe. CCP is focused on building a society that is both economically efficient and politically obedient. Its goal is to establish China as a dominant global superpower by 2049, as part of the Chinese dream. To achieve this, the CCP implements 5-year economic plans and strives for greater control both domestically and internationally. This includes exerting its cultural influence to weaken other nations and strengthen its own position as a global leader.
China is buying up our country, while corrupt Democrats and rhino-type politicians in Washington have been spending trillions of dollars on the Green New Deal nonsense, foolish foreign wars, and providing lavish benefits to illegal aliens from all over the planet. China has been spending trillions of dollars to take over the crown jewels of the United States economy, and they are doing that. China is buying up our technology. They're buying up food supplies. They're buying up our farmland. They're buying up our minerals and natural resources. They're buying up our ports and shipping terminals, and with the help of a corrupt influence peddlers like the Biden crime family, China is even trying to buy up the pillars of the U.S. energy industry because, frankly, Biden and the group don't care about real energy. They only care about nonsense energy that doesn't work, and it never will.
Given this background information, it's easy to understand the significance of TikTok, an app designed for rapid growth and popularity. With one of the world's most advanced algorithms, TikTok constantly collects data on the global population, making it a valuable tool for the Chinese government. In the short term, TikTok would allow the government to gather data on foreign citizens, creating profiles similar to the social credit score used in China. In the long term, the app would play a key role in influencing popular culture globally, helping the CCP to infiltrate and exert its influence. TikTok has become a major source of entertainment and distraction for millions of users worldwide. However, this causes them to confuse what they see on the app with reality, making them vulnerable to psychological manipulation. As I mentioned before, the Chinese government controls the algorithm behind TikTok, giving them the power to promote certain videos and limit others. The algorithm can change without any notice, giving the company the ability to steer users towards content that benefit them and their associates. The app is particularly appealing to a younger and more impressionable audience, which raises concerns about the negative impact on children and teenagers.
يلا كمان let's go ونحمسات عيني لو احتكيري ولا لموت الليل لكم يرششوا أنزل تحت كل أهل.
It is important to note that the design of TikTok is influenced by the Chinese Communist Party's propaganda philosophy of creating role models. What I mean by that is the difference in the Chinese and the international versions of TikTok, Douyin and TikTok respectively, is a reflection of the Chinese government's censorship and propaganda practices. In China, children under 14 years of age are presented with educational and cultural content, such as science experiments and museum exhibitions, through Douyin. This helps to cultivate values that align with the Communist Party's ideology and promote the idea of hard work and sacrifice for the greater good. On the other hand, TikTok in the United States and other parts of the world displays a starkly different version of reality, with content that often includes sexually explicit, violent, criminal, and disruptive material. The quote says, "If you want to destroy a nation without war, make adultery and nudity common among the young generation." This quote highlights the idea that moral decay and loss of traditional values can lead to the eventual downfall of a nation by promoting immoral behavior and a decadent lifestyle among the younger generation. The strength and stability of the nation can be weakened by making it vulnerable to outside influences and threats. This concept is aligned with the tactic of subversion, where a nation's culture and social values are gradually undermined from within. Subversion is a tactic used in warfare to achieve victory without actual physical conflict. This concept has been applied to TikTok, where it is argued that the platform is being used to promote a culture of degeneracy and weaken the values and beliefs of society.
What's wrong with this? If you don't play into the trans agenda, you're cast out as a bully and
This disparity demonstrates the government's control over the app's algorithm, with the ability to selectively promote or limit certain content, ultimately shaping the perspectives and beliefs of its users. This manipulation of the virtual world raises concerns about the potential impact on the mental and emotional well-being of its users, especially the younger and more impressionable population. Back in the past, the best way to attain wealth and fame was through showcasing one's talents and skills. However, now it is about acting like an idiotic moron on camera and posting it on TikTok. Unfortunately, people are kind of idiotic enough to give these people fame. TikTok has been criticized for hosting a large amount of content that is seen as lacking value or substance, such as silly dances, pointless trends, and dangerous challenges. There are some crazy dangerous TikTok challenges like blackout, tooth filing, dry scoop, Benadryl, and more. People are doing it for just fun. I mean, it's wild. People are going to extremes for internet fame and recognition. Although some videos on the app are entertaining, the trend of putting oneself at risk for a viral moment is concerning. The blackout challenge is a dangerous trend where kids intentionally cut off their air supply to a point of unconsciousness for the purpose of gaining online popularity. This can result in serious injuries such as head trauma, seizures, and in some cases, death. The challenge is not only senseless, but also has catastrophic consequences. One of the dangerous challenges known as tooth filing, the use of nail files to straighten teeth, is a dangerous trend that is causing harm to dental health. Despite warnings from dentists, some individuals are using emery boards to modify their teeth, with the intention of avoiding dental fees for cosmetic procedures. The trend involves filing down teeth with the nail file, which can lead to the destruction of tooth enamel, the development of cavities, and nerve damage, increased sensitivity to hot or cold food and drinks, and permanent damage to dental health. Additionally, some individuals are using questionable methods to whiten their teeth at home, putting their dental health at further risk. A dangerous TikTok challenge has put the health and well-being of teenagers at risk, with one young boy being hospitalized and another nearly suffering brain damage as a result of participating. The trend highlights the potential dangers of blindly following challenges and encourages individuals to exercise caution and consider the potential consequences before attempting any online trend. The thumb in mouth challenge is a dangerous trend that is putting children's health at risk. The challenge involves squeezing the chest and blowing through the fingers while keeping their thumb in the mouth, which can lead to hyperventilation and a temporary state of euphoria. This practice is not only dangerous but also potentially life-threatening, as it can cause breathing difficulties, loss of consciousness, and other health complications. Parents and guardians should educate their children about the dangers of such trends and discourage them from participating. It is important to prioritize safety and seek medical attention if any negative effects occur as a result of attempting online challenges. The devastating incident in Milwaukee, where a 9-year-old girl lost her life while playing a game she had seen on TikTok, highlights the dangers of exposing children to potentially harmful content on social media. The cries of the 5-year-old boy who witnessed the tragedy still echo in the halls of their 3-bedroom clapboard house, reminding us of the devastating impact that such incidents can have on families and communities. The tragedy raises important questions about the responsibility of social media platforms to monitor and filter content that could be harmful to children, and highlights the need for increased education and awareness about safe and responsible online behavior. The app is facing distrust and scrutiny from regulators and politicians globally due to concerns about its data collection practices and China's geopolitical ambition.
The U.S. military is instructed all personnel to stay off of TikTok, or not to use TikTok. Yeah, because,
really?
Yeah, again, because of the same concern. The whole idea is this platform, because these companies can argue all they want to that they're independent from the Chinese authorities, but ultimately, if the Chinese authorities knock on their door and say, "We would like access to your database because we want to hoover up all the information about every U.S. military person, that's stationed wherever," or they're going to do it.
They're trying to get one of the top TikTok executives in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's considered a cyber threat. Yeah. Lieutenant Colonel Robin Ocha, an Army spokeswoman, told military.com, "We do not allow it on government phones."
There you go.
Whoa.
Look at that.
In the US, former President Donald Trump signed an executive order in 2020 to block downloading the app, claiming it threatened to allow China access to Americans' personal information. The order was never enforced and revoked by President Joe Biden, who directed the US Commerce Department to work with other agencies to protect US data. In conclusion, the issue of banning TikTok in the United States is a complex and controversial one, encompassing concerns about security, privacy, and foreign influence.
Right now, tonight, a ban on Chinese social media apps, especially TikTok.
We're certainly looking at it. We've worked on this very issue for a long time.
Would you recommend that people download that app on their phones?
Only if you want your private information in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party.
The US government is taking steps to address these concerns, and it remains to be seen how the situation will develop in the future. Currently, only India has implemented a nationwide ban on the app. In the United States and Western world, TikTok has become deeply ingrained in our culture, making it a challenge to remove.
So, Morgan, as you said, we've seen TikTok banned on federal devices, and now we've got this school trend that's impacting everyday people. So is this the beginning, you think, of a wider ban?
Yeah, Hoda, potentially. We do know that there is bipartisan legislation that was discussed in December that would not only ban TikTok potentially, but other apps with social media that could be tied to Russia and or several other foreign countries that the government considers concerning. In the meantime, we're told by TikTok that they've been in ongoing negotiations with the federal government for more than 2 years and that, quote, positive progress is being made. And we're also hearing from lawmakers who say that there is another solution, and that would be the sale to an American company to keep TikTok operating here in the U.S. without all of these growing amount of concerns.
However, it's important to acknowledge that TikTok has become one of the most powerful geopolitical tools in the world. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I greatly appreciate your support and for taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If not, kindly leave a comment explaining why. My goal for this channel is to produce educational and entertaining content on business, finance, and life in general. If this is of interest to you, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss out on future videos. With that, I hope you have a wonderful and fulfilling rest of your day. As always, I send you my best wishes. Until next time, take care.